My mom is in debt and I am afraid her solution will be my doom. I need advice. First off, I'm using my mobile app, sorry for format errors. Tunedly, I'm mentally processing as I write this, so, sorry for rambling and any grammar/spelling errors that will definitely be in this post. Threedly, I posted under r/personal finance as well for the money questions, but here for relationship advice. Our finances got entangled about 2 years ago, when my mom, I'm not allowed to say age, F, asked if I, 37F, would co-sign with her so she can refinance her house. Basically mom wanted to reduce her monthly payments. She's living mostly off social security and apparently that wasn't enough income for a lender to agree to refinance, hence her request. At that time I was very hesitant, but after she assured me she can cover her bills and promised she would give me warning should she run into trouble, I reluctantly agreed. Honestly, I felt guilted into it. But considering she had great credit due to years of on-time payments and reducing her monthly mortgage payment would lighten her financial load, I couldn't think of a reason to say no. Now, I'm not poor per se, but I have been living pretty much paycheck to paycheck. This last year I moved to a cheaper place, but in a more questionable location and finally started building that emergency fund those financially smart people rave about. Every once in a while mom would call me to help with a bill, but otherwise she seems to have everything handled. Things seemed to be fine. Skip to early 2020, mom doesn't have money to cover property tax. It's not rolled into the mortgage payments per mom's request because the city offers a discount if you pay them directly. Shit. That's a lot of money because it's the full annual amount. Since mom missed the partial payment deadline, I pay it. Goodbye emergency fund. A few months later mom needed money, reason undisclosed. Apparently I needed to trust her. I sent the requested money. A few months later, she confesses she got involved with a scam but she's ended it. She needs more money to help recover from the damage the scam did. I send the requested money. Get another call, she needs a couple hundred in the same day, urgently. I tell her I cannot get her the money the same day. Either she has to wait or she can ask a family friend who I will reimburse later. They live in her state. She goes to the family friend. During all this time I'm trying to get details out of her but she is stubborn and sticks to vague answers, claims she too tired to go into it, or accuses me of not trusting her. I'm secretly hoping the family friend will get more info out of her. Family friend gets a long story, but no details. I'm sure you've already guessed where this is going. After a few more urgent bills, which I pay directly, she informs me she can't pay the October mortgage. Shit, I can't afford my rent/bills and her mortgage. But COVID is going on, and Congress passed a CARES Act. I contact the lender, we are now in forbearance, with a balloon payment at the end. I've had enough. I call her and after 5 hours of me refusing to let her avoid telling me what's going on I have a better idea of her income, although not details. She's purposefully vague. I'm pretty sure I know her bills and debts, and I have a clearer picture of what happened, but I know she is withholding information, which seems I will never get out of her until the time is right, whenever that is. From what I can figure this is mom's story. 1. She was a victim of a couple scams. 2. Either as part of the scams, or as a desperate attempt to stay afloat she's taken out multiple payday/speedy loans. 3. Due to suspicious activity her bank closed her account and she lost some money for the bank's fees. Here I am, basically getting myself hunkered down. I've given myself pep talks. You can't take on all her problems, focus on her needs, i.e. water, heat, etc., and the mortgage. Don't let your financial future get fucked because you're too nice, etc. I'm also trying to figure out a way to cover that balloon payment. Last week, mom says she wants to refinance again. The interest rates are lower now apparently, but the lien the city has on the house will no longer be subordinate, so it will have to get absorbed by the mortgage. This will make the projected monthly payment larger than it is now, but it's okay, it'll just be tough for a little while until we can refinance again. Now, granted mom wasn't very forthcoming so I'm not 100%, but from my calculations, mom must have been a goddamned magician to cover all her bills as they are currently. Not including all the extras she's implied she would like me to help pay: storage unit, 2 worldwide phone plans for her mobile, a car maintenance club, LifeLock, life insurance, maxed credit cards, and all those speedy loans. How she figures she can cover an even larger mortgage payment is beyond me. Then she calls me today. She's working with someone who's been like her personal champion advocate. Champion has wrestled with the bank and Champion is the reason they gave some of her money back, minus some fees. Champion is also working with the police and Mom's all for that. Never mind that when I tried to get a police report going, Mom refused to provide me with any details, and apparently my mom says she got scammed isn't enough to go on. I'm not bitter, why do you ask? Anyway, Champion seems to be genuine in their desire to help, and if Mom found someone she can confide in, that's awesome. However, Champion has presented Mom with the idea of brokering deals with all her debtors and then rolling all of the residual debt in with the refinanced mortgage. Refinancing doesn't work without me due to her income and credited score dings from the speedy loans not getting paid. My brain went blank. I got off the phone and have been silently freaking out since. I feel so much guilt because I want to help my mom. I might be overreacting, but this genuinely worries me, for very selfish reasons. I guess I'm not sure how to say no, or how this will affect our relationship, or just what's the right path forward. TL/Doctor, Mom got into financial trouble, not entirely her fault, and racked up debt. Now she wants to consolidate her debt in a refinanced mortgage. With me a cosigner. I don't want to cosign, again, just to take on more of her debt. I also want to take care of her. I apologize for being lame. It's past my bedtime and I've tuckered myself out writing this, so I'm going to post this and sign off. Edit, I'm blown away. I see a lot of you have kindly taken the time to reply and message me. Thank you. I've slept in, so I won't be able to respond to much before I start work, but I'll do my best to read and respond to questions and comments on my breaks and after work. Edit 2, oh my gosh, thank you kind strangers. I never would have guessed it, but those virtual hugs are actually super comforting. And Silver. Holy shit, that's super exciting for me. Did I say thank you enough? Because, thank you. I have read some of your posts, and plan on doing a more thorough job or reading and responding after work. Edit 3, regarding my mom's age, when I started the post I was trying to keep things lighter, that was my failed attempt at humor. You know, the old lady now wanting to reveal her age trope. But I got pulled into the gloom of my narrative soon after. Anyways, if it really matter, she's 75 years old. Regarding my new questionable location, the place was available because they had to evict the drug-using, dealing prior tenant. Prior tenant trashed the apartment and littered the yard with abandoned, stolen vehicles which other druggies and homeless liked to live in/scrap off of. Thankfully, landlord has since gotten them removed vehicles and cleaned up apartment. In my last conversation with my neighbors on both sides, they've had multiple break-ins over the last few months. So, not gun violence kind of questionable, that I am aware of, but you better keep an eye on your shit kind of questionable. Regarding I should have never agreed to cosign the first time, yup, you're right. I apparently had to take the hard road, but lesson is learned. Still formulating how to proceed from here, but, honestly, you all have been a great resource. Okay, I'll check back later. Thank you. Edit 4. Regarding mom needs to get a job, mom cleans houses for side income. Exactly how much she make or how many houses she does she didn't want to share, hence my uncertainty in my calculations for her budget. Regarding the champion is one of the people she cleans for. Honestly, I think Champion's intentions are good and genuine. Hopefully I'm not just being blatantly obtuse in this regard. Regarding possible dementia, yes, that's something I'll look further into. However, I have witnessed the process of getting someone deemed incompetent before, situation unrelated to this, and I'm confident she is not going to be deemed so at this time. However, requesting an assessment to keep an eye out for it is a reasonable step. Consider it done. Okay, back to work. Edit 5. Holy cow. Thank you Reddit strangers for the Silvers and Wholesome Award. 3. I wholeheartedly want to express my gratitude for you all. I've known Reddit is a supportive community, but to feel and experience it so directly is remarkable. You've given me so much food for thought, resources, guidance, and tough reprimands. You're all very appreciated. Okay, continuing with addressing repeated questions/concerns. Regarding my credit, Thanks for all of your concern. The good news is that I was particularly paranoid after the Equifax leaks and froze my credit immediately after that. Regarding selling the house, okay, most of you seem on the same page about selling. I'm not going to argue with that. But I can't unilaterally put the place up for sale, and from bringing it up in the past I already know this will be a battle. However, some nuances that the folks at r/personal finance have brought up require me to research more before bulldozing directly to pressuring her to sell. Here is my current plan of action. 1. Research the heck out of all the resources, topics, articles, videos, you've all provided me. 2. I will not agree to this new refinance plan. 3. I will have a heart-to-heart with mom, laying out that I won't give her another penny without full disclosure from her. 4. Go to r/Shore for dopamine boost. Mom, I've done enough. Your bad decisions are destroying my future. That was a hard read. It goes without saying that you've been taken advantage of in a major way. You're expected to contribute to her lifestyle and not even given the courtesy of explanation. The only person who's being selfish here is her, with her complete disregard for your situation and opinions even. You're just not being treated like an equal but more like an ATM. You're actually doing the opposite of helping. You've just become an enabler, a safety net she can always fall back on, so she doesn't have to take responsibility for her own stuff. You say yourself she was doing fine before you started helping, so she's certainly not incapable of it. How to go about splitting your relationship and your financial issues is a different thing. First priority should be getting an independent financial advice, to see how you can get out of that arrangement and basically limit the financial damage this is gonna cause you. For example, can the house be sold? At this point you should start thinking about yourself. You're not responsible for her living above her means. You should also let her know what you're doing, in a clear and assertive way, but keep the communication down to a necessary minimum until this is sorted out. Write down what you want to say before each call, e.g., Mom, I will not be able to help you financially anymore. I'm taking advice on how to get out of our mortgage arrangement. Goodbye. If you're struggling with her manipulation over the phone or face-to-face, I'm too tired to explain why I need more cash. Start communicating by text or email. This will give you time to think about a response and decide if you even want to engage. The next steps will depend on what the financial advice says on this. Expect some kicking and screaming while you go through this, as you would expect from any addict. The addiction here is not drugs but your money though. Yeah, you have to tell her no. Just flat out refuse. Tell her you're broke and at this rate you won't be able to pay rent and are going to be evicted. My mother did the same thing at one point. Lost it on her. I just told her, I'm not going to end up homeless, just so I can support you. She was mortified, but she stopped. She even gave me some money back. I'm 38, and this is the time when we need to be paying off our own mortgages so we have something for our retirement. My 30F grandma, F80 plus, and mama, F60 plus, lose their minds when my 2F child cries. My mother, Elida, and grandmother, Azalea, both have significant trauma from their childhoods and in their adult life. In my culture their generations will not go to counseling, so that is out of the picture, at least in the short term. We are an intergenerational family and they are a big part of our family life. They are triggered by my youngest daughter Bella's crying. She is a toddler so she cries a lot. Lately she has been transitioning into a different sleeping schedule so she cries even more. My grandma and mother cannot take it. Can tell they're undiagnosed. PTSD is getting aroused. They will try to do anything to make it stop. I can see them go into emotional distress, and then they try to get involved with soothing her, which often just makes it worse. On top of that, if she is crying because she is being told no or because we are trying to habituate her to a new sleep schedule or food, etc., they will intervene or interrupt. They will even come into a room with a closed door. I am almost certain that this isn't a case of being deliberately overbearing, and they generally are not anything but supportive in my parenting. They normally mind boundaries very well, but when it comes to this, it's like they cannot control themselves. Afterwards I often see them look gloomy or far off or distant when she's done crying. Background info: this is my last child. They weren't like this with my other children. We went through even more in the last 3 years as a family and are still going through more loss with corona. ETA. Thank you so much to everyone for their thoughtful advice. I'm very appreciative and learned so much. I have a lot to think about now. My date commented on how my vlog looks. Around 5 months ago I went to my first online date. I wasn't looking for anything serious, just hookups and maybe new friends. After I was naked and laying on his bed, he asked me if I just hooked up with anyone. I said no, and he told me that my vagina looks like I just had sex. We processed to a second after what he said, and I never talked to him again after that day. His comment made me so insecure. I don't understand what he meant. I feel very uncomfortable in my body right now, to the point where I don't want to have sex with my boyfriend. Although we are intimate, I never let it go past that. I'm thinking of asking my boyfriend to have the lights off while he do it, but I don't want to sound insecure in front of him. I'm very confident about my body, but that guy's comment I can't seem to get over.